Kevin Harvick heard Kyle Busch threaten Denny Hamlin. He did not tell Busch to stop. He did not tell him to calm down. He said Busch was not doing enough. Harvick said he would have done worse. But what Harvick said next is the part that changes this whole story, and almost nobody caught it. To understand what Harvick said, you need to go back to Bristol, because that is where this entire mess began. After the Bristol race, Denny Hamlin sat down for an episode of his podcast, Actions Detrimental. Hamlin did not hold back. He said Kyle Busch should be outperforming his own teammate. He said Busch, with all his experience and talent, should be carrying that Richard Childress racing team. Not matching it, carrying it. Now, on the surface, that sounds like simple race analysis. A former teammate giving his honest read on a guy he raced alongside for 15 years. But here is the part that matters. Hamlin and Busch were JGR teammates for all of those 15 years. Hamlin has publicly admitted that Busch helped him get better on intermediate tracks. These are not two strangers. This is someone Busch considers part of his inner circle of the sport, calling him out on a public platform. That hit different. By the time the NASCAR weekend moved to Kansas, Busch was ready to respond. He sat down with SiriusXM and made his position very clear. He said Hamlin had been running his mouth on the podcast. He said Hamlin had been telling people he was washed up and could not drive anymore. And then he dropped the line that got everyone's attention. He said Hamlin had gotten run into before, and he might get run into again. That is not a subtle message. That is a direct threat, said out loud, with a microphone in front of it, and it immediately became the biggest story in NASCAR. Hamlin did not stay quiet after Busch's comments hit the internet. He went to social media and posted a response that told you a lot about where his head was. He wrote that he was not sure what he was supposed to do. He hosts a podcast, people ask him questions about relevant topics. He said he did not know if he was just supposed to shrug and say everything looks fine. He called it walking a tightrope. And that is actually the key tension in this whole story. Hamlin is not just a driver. He is a team owner with 2311 Racing. He is one of the most prominent voices in the sport. He runs one of the most popular NASCAR podcasts going. Every week he has to give real answers about real topics. And Kyle Busch, a guy he has known for 15 years, is one of the biggest topics in the sport right now. So what is Hamlin supposed to do? Pretend he does not see what everyone else sees? That question is exactly what Kevin Harvick answered on his own podcast. And his answer is why we are all still talking about this. Because Harvick did not just react to the feud. He said what he would have done, and what he said about Hamlin made Busch's threat sound like small talk. Harvick addressed the whole situation on his Happy Hour podcast, and right away, he made something clear. He did not think Hamlin's original comments were that bad. From the outside looking in, Harvick heard what Hamlin said and thought it was honest, direct analysis. Nothing that should have burned anyone. But then he flipped it. He said if he had been in Kyle Busch's position, he would have taken the comments exactly the way Busch took them. He would have been furious, and he would not have just threatened to run Hamlin over. He said he would have actually done it. He referenced a specific race, Dover. He said that is what they did at Dover way back when. He then made it even more pointed. He said back in 2006, he probably would have just smashed him. That is Kevin Harvick, retired, with nothing to lose, saying he would have been more aggressive than the guy who is currently threatening to put someone into the wall. Harvick was not making that Dover reference up. There is real history there. Back at Dover in 2010, Harvick and Hamlin had a clash during practice. Both cars got damaged. It did not end on the track. It spilled into the pits, where it was not just the two drivers involved. Crew members from both sides got into it. NASCAR officials had to physically step in to bring the situation under control. That is the version of Kevin Harvick that existed when he was still competing. The one who settled things fast and did not wait for a microphone to do it. So when Harvick says he would have handled the Hamlin situation differently than Busch is handling it, he is not just talking. He has the receipts to back it up. Here is what makes this feud more than just drama between two drivers. Harvick explained it better than anyone. Kyle Busch is not struggling because he has lost his ability to drive a race car. Harvick made that point clearly. 2 or 3 years ago, Busch was winning races in the Gen 7 car. He won 3 times in 2023 in his first season at RCR. But here is the part Busch himself has admitted. Those 3 wins came with an asterisk. RCR was doing something to the car that NASCAR did not like. After the 3rd win at Gateway in June 2023, NASCAR told them not to bring that setup back. The wins were real. The edge that helped produce them was not something they could keep using. Since then, the results have fallen off a cliff. Through the first 10 races of the 2026 season, Busch has one top 10 finish. He has led 19 laps total. He has a DNF on the books. He is sitting 27th in the points table. That is the reality Hamlin was pointing at when he said Busch should be carrying that car, and that is the reality Harvick acknowledged when he said the cars at RCR are simply not performing. But here's the question nobody is fully answering. If the car is the problem, why is this turning into a war between Busch and Hamlin? And why did it get bad enough that Harvick felt the need to say he would have run somebody over? The answer is in what Harvick said next. Harvick did not just analyze the feud. He laid out what Busch's next chapter at RCR actually looks like. He said nobody knows exactly where the ceiling is for Busch in that car. You cannot fully judge a driver until you put him in a competitive machine. That truth protects Busch from some of the criticism, but it does not protect him from all of it. Harvick framed the real test for Busch this way. Richard Childress is going to ask him what they need to do, what changes they need to make, what direction they need to go. And Busch is going to have to give real answers and push real change from inside that organization. That is a different kind of skill than simply being fast on track. Winning races is one thing. Being the guy in the room who forces a struggling team to get better is something else entirely. And then things got even messier inside the Busch camp. At Bristol, his crew chief at the time got on the radio and lost his composure completely. He said, "What is the problem now? Is the thing sideways or is it plowing?" The radio exchange got bad enough that it became a public talking point on its own. Harvick did not stay quiet about that either. He said if he had a crew chief who talked about him that way, he would fire him quickly. He called it unacceptable. The situation got resolved. RCR moved the crew chief out and brought Andy Street in to lead Busch's team for the rest of the 2026 season. But the fact that it happened at all tells you how much pressure is building inside that program. Busch, for his part, stayed calm on the radio during that Bristol race. While the team around him was cracking, he kept his voice steady. That is actually worth noting. The guy getting criticized for his leadership stayed composed while the people around him did not. So here is where everything lands. Denny Hamlin said what he thought. Kyle Busch threatened to run him over for it, and Kevin Harvick said he would have gone further. He literally said he would have run Denny Hamlin over. And the wild part is that Harvick does not even think Hamlin was wrong. He just knows that when you are the driver on the receiving end of that kind of public criticism, you do not sit back and analyze it. You react. What happens next between Busch and Hamlin on the track this season is the only thing that is going to settle this. No podcast can do it. No interview can close it. The only answer Busch has is results. And right now, 27th in points with one top 10 finish through 10 races, he does not have them yet. Kevin Harvick said he would run Denny Hamlin over for this. Kyle Busch just said he might. The difference between those two sentences is exactly why this story is not over.